It doesn't matter. Let's make school about school, and let's make semi-professional teams for young players.
We just talked about you taking my thing and twisting it. It comes
I
to
wouldn't.
shut up.
Let's just scrap playing for a school.
Okay, shut up.
It is not Louisville, it is Louisville. But you saved it. Garbanzo beans. And this is Buffet Sports.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing. I guess I define winning.
So you wanted to talk about Bronny. I'll give you my take straight away.
Well, give the context and then give your take.
All right. Zane wants to talk about Bronny James. He declared for the draft. And when I saw this tweet, I was confused, and then I remembered that the NIL was a thing, so they're already making money. Because before, once you declare for the draft, there is no, I'll be in the transfer portal, I might come back next year. When you declare for the draft, you're done. Now the NIL is a thing. So it took me a second to adjust my brain to reading that tweet that he declared for the draft. He's going to go through off-season workouts with teams, and based on their reception, he will enter the draft. So it's kind of the same thing, but there's more leeway now. He also entered the transfer portal. Let me spell it out for you. Don't care. He's a bust. Shouldn't even be in the draft. Straight away.
Okay.
He's a 6'4" point guard that's average at everything he does. He has nothing that he does special at USC. He's LeBron James' son. He's a ticket to get LeBron James for a 1-year rental. That's what he is. And he knows, and despite whatever LeBron wants to say that there's no external pressure for him to get to the league, he knows dad's got 1, maybe 2 years left in him. I've got a free ticket to the NBA. At the bare minimum, a free ticket to the NBA. But do I really want to do that? I kind of would rather go stream. And I would make a crazy buku money doing that too. Sure, it's not professional sports money, but I don't have to go to practice every day. And I've been doing this all my life, and there's all this pressure. Why would I do that? I'll say it again. Bust, shouldn't be in the NBA, just a LeBron James son. That's all he is. He's a 1-year rental. Whatever team goes out and gets him, the Lakers might try and get him in the draft, whatever. It's all just so you can get a 1-year LeBron rental to try and go win a chip. So one of these teams that has been one of these poverty franchises that has a good pick next year and can for sure lock Bronny James down if he decides to declare for the draft, can go take him with the 30th pick or something in the first round or higher if they're that desperate. And they've built up all these assets and all this cap space. They can go draft Bronny. LeBron will request a trade. They'll go pay out the ass for a 40-year-old LeBron James, bring him over, and then mortgage the next 7 years of their franchise to try and go win a championship. And oops, we lost in the second round of the playoffs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Why do you have to do these things? We just talked about you taking my thing and twisting it in a way that I don't feel is right.
I'm just giving my take on Bronny. If
And
you want
now-
to talk about college in general, that's a different story. But I just want to give my take on Bronny as an NBA prospect. Garbanzo beans.
Now you've done the same thing. You've taken something that I wanted to talk about before I even said it, and you've twisted it in a way that's not the way that I want it to be twisted.
So go ahead. However you want to talk about it. I just needed to get that out because when you talked about it, when you brought it up, I've been like avoiding this whole thing because I think it's the dumbest thing ever. And it's been a conversation for the last like 2.5 years, and it's stupid.
Yeah, the points I were going to make were not in favor of Bronny's decisions, but they weren't like hatred fueled like Devin's were.
It's not hatred towards Bronny. It's hatred towards the stupid media. Like, It's so dumb. 2.5 years we've been talking about this kid. We've been talking about him since he was like 8 years old and he got his first offer to Duke. Go ahead. I'll shut up.
But
I
I
can't stand the media with this kid. It's
so
ridiculous.
I will say this stuff. He is declaring for the draft. He is not starting for USC. He's not a starter. And he's declaring for the draft. And here's something that we don't talk about is basketball is a cardio sport. Just what it is. I mean, Chris Bosh had to stop playing because of his heart condition, right?
I was like, where the f are you going with that? But you saved it. You saved it. That was good.
Yeah, basketball is a cardio sport.
Yes.
Bronny James had a problem with his heart when he was practicing with USC.
Good point.
So at the very and Chris Bosh.
Did you read about this before we got on here?
Okay, shut up.
Welcome to my world, pal. Welcome to the show. Go fuck yourself.
Welcome to the show. So he's already, being a young guy, has had problems with his heart, problems with cardiovascular movements, right? When he's working out with USC, he had that whole stint in the hospital. I mean, very scary for a young man. Don't know. Maybe he was puffing on the tasty sticks, you know.
Oh, dude. Not only did he have a vape, but he had the Benjamin. All right. He had the Benjamin in hand. He's in Cali. You know it.
Maybe he was doing a bunch of that, right? And Chris Bosh made a good while before he had a heart condition and had to stop in the league. So there's all these red flags that pop up about Bronny, and now he's declaring for the draft and the NIL portal. So he can either leave USC, go somewhere else, and possibly be a starter.
He hasn't technically declared for the draft because once he declares for the draft, he can't come back to college.
Okay.
But what he can do now is do workouts for a team.
Yeah.
For different teams to see their reception of him, whether he thinks he should go to the draft or not.
Gotcha. But to my point, with all of these red flags, if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., I don't think anybody would even look in his cardinal direction for a playoff, for an NBA player. I just don't think so, because you have to be on the court running back and forth this whole time. Are they going to draft a guy with the vision of him being a role player? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that's what they look for. Oh yeah, he'd be a great role player. No, they look for great guys, and then when they don't turn out to be great guys, they become role players. That's what they do. And he hasn't proven himself anywhere. AAU, he proved himself there. He could dunk, right? But in college, he hasn't proven himself because he hasn't even gotten the starting position. Now he wants to go to the NBA. And yes, I am hating technically on Bronny, not to the same length as Devin, but my point is, I just want to know what the point of this is, because he probably has very smart people around him who are like, hey, look at this, look at that. Like you just can't shut up, can you? You just can't shut your flipping yapper. Even without talking, you disrupt me.
It's just about money.
So yeah, I know that LeBron says in the media that he's not pressuring Bronny, but with this move that he's making right now, I don't know how he can continuously say that he's not pressuring Bronny to get into the league. To me, it's very clear that yes, there is a pressure to get him into the league because it would be a great story. Father and son winning a championship, getting all these guys there. And then like Bronny plays for 2 minutes in the finals. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's very weird. I think it's a terrible move by Bronny. I think he has to show that he's not going to possibly die on the court from running back and forth and doing workouts first. And then also show that he can be a starter on a college basketball team before he goes to the NBA. But, it is LeBron James's son. So teams would get him, as Devin has already pointed out. They would draft him to get LeBron James on their team. So yes, thank you for stealing all of my points. And I thought you were gonna say this is a great thing. This is awesome. This is amazing. But no, you're a LeBron James Jr. hater.
I'm not a LeBron James Jr. hater. I'm a media hater. Since we're
He
talking about the
won.
portal,
He won.
Haley Van Lith, you have no idea who that human being is. She played at Louisville
Mhm.
and
Is
for
she
everyone out
blonde?
there, yes,
I know who
bad,
she is. I've seen her face.
badass mother. For everyone out there that's going to criticize, no one, the one person that might say something, it is not Louisville, it is Louisville. Okay. Let's get that
Louisville.
straight. She played at Louisville for 1 year or for 2 years,
Louisville.
I think. And then she transferred last year to LSU. They got beat the up by Caitlin Clark and Iowa. And she has entered the transfer portal again. I think it's because Angel Reese, who's the LSU star there, she's leaving to the WNBA. I think it's primarily because of that. But I want to get your take in general about sorry, I gotta back up here. Her birthday is 9/11.
Hey,
2001.
hey, never forget.
I just realized that I have her up on my phone because I wanted to make sure I said her name right.
Don't forget,
Anyways,
you stupid son of a.
what's your take on the transfer portal in general? I don't like it. I think it's really dumb, and I think it's destroying college sports in general. I think college sports are done.
Yeah, I hate it.
I think we should if we're gonna bring money into it and we're gonna bring the transfer portal into it, let's get rid of college sports as a whole and let's take on the Europe version of college sports, where in Europe you play for your U16 team, and then for your everything is town city based. So you play U16, then you play U18, then you play U21 and up, and you go up in ranks. And then once you're in U21 and up, you play with semi-pro, pro, and then you can get into separate leagues from there. But if we're gonna go into all this, let's just scrap playing for a school. Let's make school about school, and let's make semi-professional teams for young players.
Yeah, I hate the NIL. I thought it was really good at the beginning. I've developed a hatred for it. I think it's so funny how us as people who are broke or middle class, we always hate monopolies and we hate people with a lot of money who can just throw out money and then if somebody who was like a trillionaire went and bought a team and then paid for Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, flipping Stephon Diggs or Jamar Chase, and they bought all these superstars, we would hate it. But when it comes
I
to
wouldn't.
shut up. When it comes to the NIL, it's we're fine with it. We're fine with whatever team, whatever school has the most money. We can just throw that money that way and then create an amazing team and pay that. So I hate it, and specifically I hate it because there's this one guy, I don't know his name. I'll put it into editing. I'm pretty sure he's a lineman from somewhere down south. He entered the portal, transferred back to his hometown for a month, made $100,000 off of jersey sales. After that month, transferred back to the school that he was originally going to. You realize that we have college players in the NCAA who are scamming communities currently through the NIL. We have college athletes who are part-time scammers, part-time punch made devs, part-time punching cards on the weekends. They're scamming people, and then they're transferring back to the colleges that they want to go to. I think for one, they should have made so many more rules for the NIL. It's just like the Wild West out here. Anybody can just leave whenever they want. That shouldn't be the case. You have to show some sort of commitment. Or here's the thing, that guy or the basketball girl that you were talking about, because that they leave and they transfer so much, that should take effect when they try and go to the league. Like, okay, this guy has a history of this, or this girl has a history of that. So their draft stock falls because they show that they're not loyal and they're not willing to put up with hard things, and they just want to go to a place to win, right? They're just ring chasing before they're a superstar.
Better yet, let me do you one better. How about every time they transfer their NIL? Because there's got to be a general structure for the NIL. Every time they transfer, that structure for their contract goes down.
I think
So
it should
you're
be
you're
a year buffer.
incentivized. You're incentivized to stay
I think it should be a year buffer.
where you can't play.
No, they can play. They transfer to a new school for that year that they're at that new school. They don't get any money. Second year they start making money, right? Because that would eliminate a lot of it. Because now you have to, at the very least, to make money, you have to be there for 2 years, and then after 2 years you can transfer. But then, oh, that's another year you don't make any money. Maybe then in your fourth year you can make money.
Yeah, I to your point earlier about the pro team buying players, I'm fine with it because it's a pro team. That's the point. But with
we would hate
college,
it. Everybody would hate it.
Sure, I would hate it. I'd be like, they're just paying to win. But at the end of the day, if you can fit it under the salary cap, it's in bounds.
Yeah, but
With college,
do colleges have salary caps?
But that's the thing. With colleges, it's completely booster based.
Yeah. So
It's
whoever's
just right.
Same thing with high schools, like rich high schools with all this brand new equipment. They're paying these college coaches to come, like these college coaches to come to their high school, right? Like it's just like we all hate it when it's not us who are getting the college coaches. We all hate it, but it's just so funny that everywhere else we look in life, we hate it when there's some guy with a lot of money who's just going to pay to win and just monopolize a certain sort of area, whatever you want to call it. We hate it. But then when it comes to NIL and sports, we're like, yeah, it's great. And I thought it was great. Yeah. Like let's get these kids some money. Like imagine how much money Shaq would have gotten in college. Like an amazing amount of money. I think the money part of it, getting these college athletes money is great, but like everything, people abuse it, and then people end up scamming an entire community. This guy literally scammed us.
I think to your point that basically the end all be all should just be we should remove schools from paying the athletes and we should just allow sponsorships and them to make money off their likeness.
Oh my God, you're ear raping me right now. Turn your mic down.
What do you mean?
You're so loud.
Turn your mic down. My mic is like at 5%. I can barely hear you.
All right, let's just close it out.
I'm Devin. That's Zano, a shinobi warrior. And this is Buffet Sports. You can catch us every day, if not twice a day, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at buffet.sports. We're doing multiple videos in terms of long form. Again, we're posting every day short form. Today we went through the transfer portal in college. So that's what we covered today. Next week, we're going to be adding a new show. So be on the lookout for that.
Look how big he's gotten. He got so big.
That's Manny. We're signing off.
That's Manfred United.